Breaking this morning, heartbreak in the nation's capital. Right now, an urgent search and rescue operation is underway in the frigid Potomac River after a deadly mid-air collision at Reagan National Airport. Here is what we know right now. According to the FAA, just before 9 last night, a regional American Airlines jet inbound from Wichita, Kansas, collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter. You can see what appears to be that collision in this video we're showing you right now. Law enforcement says the force of the impact broke the plane into pieces, sending both the jet and helicopter into the icy river.
Officials say 60 passengers and 4 crew members were on the plane and 3 U.S. soldiers were on the helicopter. The organization that oversees U.S. figure skating confirms athletes, coaches, and family members who had just attended a training camp were among the passengers. You might recall the figure skating championships took place this past weekend in Wichita. NBC Washington reports more than 30 bodies have now been recovered during search and rescue operations, citing 2 sources familiar with the search efforts. Officials say those efforts are complicated by the ice in the Potomac and the darkness.
It's a highly complex operation. The conditions out there are extremely rough for the responders. It's cold. They're dealing with relatively windy conditions. Wind is hard out on the river.
Newly sworn-in Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on X that the Pentagon and the Army are investigating the crash. And in a post on Truth Social, President Trump called the tragedy a terrible night, saying the situation, quote, should have been prevented. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We, of course, have live team coverage this morning of this breaking tragedy. We're going to begin with NBC News correspondent Ryan Nobles, who is at Reagan National Airport.
Ryan, good morning. So I know we are expecting an official update a little bit later this hour, giving us more on the search and rescue effort. Just walk us through where everything stands right now, including those recovery and rescue efforts as well as the investigation.
Joe and Savannah, good morning. And as the sun begins to rise over the Potomac River here behind me, and we're starting to get a sense of the scale of this tragedy, it's becoming more and more apparent that this is a worst-case scenario, that this American Eagle commuter airline, a direct flight from Wichita, Kansas, attempting to land here at Reagan National Airport, collided with a Black Hawk helicopter, an Army helicopter. And at this point, there is no sign that there are any survivors. There were 64 people on board that plane, and there were a number of Army soldiers that were on board that Black Hawk helicopter. There have been a massive effort, search and rescue effort in the icy Potomac River all night long. Some 300 first responders have been on the river along the shore, doing everything they can to try and recover the bodies, search for anyone that may have survived this crash. This is a very difficult and arduous process. The waters are icy cold. It has been a freezing winter here in Washington, D.C., and it's also been terribly windy here over the past 24 hours, which is complicating that search and rescue progress. So far, our local affiliate here in Washington has reported that at least 30 bodies have been recovered during this search and rescue operation. But as the time ticks away, the possibility of finding any survivors to this awful crash continues to dwindle. But law enforcement authorities say that they're going to continue the work until every single person has been recovered. Joe and Savannah.
First and foremost, before we get started, I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rekah Quadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while lunch is truth, and also to those elect that is scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the type of day lesson is deadly DC plane crash. So I like to say Shalom to all our listeners and learn. Hope this help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So we're seeing right now about this, we've been hearing in the news about this deadly crash between this American airline jet and also this military Black Hawk helicopter, saying that it happened in mid-air, over, I think, D.C., airport, over in the Washington, Maryland, and think West Virginia, somewhere in that area over there. So we know that these things right now are constantly picking up, whether it's a psyop or propaganda, whatever. We know this is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Abishai. The Lord controlled the left hand side and also the right hand side. So we already know right now, whether this was manufactured, engineered, but it was engineered through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Abishai. You know what I'm saying? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the Lord has not done it? Shall evil be done in the city, and the Lord has not done it? And one thing about it, that's what we constantly warning you about each and every day. The Lord's constantly bringing these different events, these different fearful sights, you know what I'm saying? Great signs and wonders, different things that happen, people, and a lot of death and destruction all around. And we see that these things are constantly increasing. And also we know that Donald Trump is already, he's back in office. He constantly was signing executive orders like a madman. And one thing about it, constantly saying, saying about these TSA employees, a lot of them I think was laid off a while back, and they're saying it was, a lot of unexperienced people they're doing this job now. So he's saying that we got to get experienced people to do this job, air controllers and I can't think of the other names, but anyways, dealing with this aviation. So we see right here, it said it was the other reports there was no survivors. So we already seen that. It said also that the water was very frigid and icy. I think it was 33 or below. We already knowing that after 30 minutes or so, some people die instantly. Depending on how your health is also. And so right now we seeing right now they say they had recovered 30 or more bodies. So we know that the death toll is going to rise. So it says here, NBC News, we're just going to recap what we just read, what we just seen in the first news video, also by NBC News. It says DC plane crash live updates. It said Trump says there are no survivors as details about flight condition emerge. It said American figure skaters, coaches, and family members who had been at a camp in Wichita, Kansas, were among those aboard the passenger jet, according to the U.S. Figure skating. Let's get a little bit more. Let's get another little quick recap. Then we're going to get a quick pre-sale, and I have a few more videos pretty much talking about the same thing, but we're just going to, get a little bit more edification, a little bit more understanding. It says here, what we know. It said American Eagle Flight 5342 from Wichita, Kansas, carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members collided mid-air, said with an Army helicopter near Reagan Washington National Airport last night. He said President Donald Trump confirmed today that these are no President Donald Trump confirmed today there are no survivors. It says here, the 2 aircraft crashed into the Pontiac River, where a rescue operation had became a major recovery effort with dozens of bodies pulled from the frigid water so far. Says here, the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter were carrying 3 people. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser says here, American figure skaters and coaches, pretty much saying the same thing, said family members who had been at camp in Wichita were among those aboard the passenger jet, according to U.S. Figure Skating. It says here, it's okay. It's pretty much saying the same thing. So we're seeing right now that these things going to constantly pick up left and right. Ever since Trump got in office, we seeing these things constantly increasing. We're seeing right now that this nation right now pretty much is divided. And also, there's already rumors that they're saying they're blaming this on Donald Trump, and also Donald Trump is blaming this on the DEA. So it's a lot of these, this back and forth. You already know that if a nation is divided, it cannot stand. So we already seeing that now that 2025 is constantly is more prophetic, more biblical than ever before. And also it's constantly manifesting what? The end time. We're living in the end time, real time. So whether, this was the sinister side, the left-hand side, but we knowing that the Lord's constantly bringing forth this judgment. But the judgment is getting ready to come out on a level that we have never seen before. These things are coming upon us at a fast pace. So it says at a fast pace. So we see it right here. It says, update, Trump says there are no survivor as details about flight condition emergency. So we don't know, this, we already knowing that, that this man is trying to get that advantage. We know right now, I think the other day also, what was that? This person in this young lady in Mississippi, in Canton, Mississippi, from this Nissan plant, she was kidnapped and also she was taken off and shot multiple times. She tried to save her life and jumped out of the car to her death. Another vehicle came along and killed her. So that was judgment from the Lord. So, one thing about it, do anyone perish being innocent? So we seeing right now, the Lord's constantly bringing forth that judgment, but it's getting ready to come down on a major scale. So a lot of people still are scoffing and mocking, still are not believing, still not aware of the signs of the time. They are right in front of your face. So now, let's get a quick precept. Let's go here. We might get a little bit more, a few more videos and we'll close out. Let's go here. I quoted it. We might well get it. It said, Amos chapter 3 and verse 6 says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it? So one thing about it, we already know that these different events, these different disasters, these different death and different catastrophes that are happening around the world, left and right, the Lord is devising these things. The Lord is constantly making these things happen. We see it right now, that right now the Lord is what is visiting the earth that he created. And also, shall a trumpet be blown in the city? We constantly warning you, all these things are evil, pestilent, death and destruction. We warning you these things left and right. We're constantly telling you to get prepared. And the only way you will be prepared when these things come upon you, if you're part of the election, you know what I'm saying? Wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of the time. We go with that on left and right. So right now, the Lord is constantly making it happen. These things are constantly picking up left and right. We're very excited. We know that our salvation is at the door. Verse 6 in the NLT, it said, when the ram horn blows, a warning, so the warning goes out before what? Destruction. Warning before destruction. Lord sent out what? His prophet, his mouth be constantly warning you left and right, telling you to repent and return to your true power. Seek the Lord, because we know right now we are running out of time, and these things are constantly getting more greater and greater. Evils are growing all around us. It said, shouldn't the people be alarmed? Said, does disaster come to a city unless the Lord has planned it? So the Lord has devised these things. The Lord is in perfect control. The Lord said, I form the life. I create it. I do all these things. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, I kill, I won't, I make alive. The Lord is constantly making these things happen. And we constantly seeing these things are happening. We are so very close. We're living in the last days. So let's go here to Zephaniah, just random scriptures. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 5. Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 5. It says here, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning do he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. So right now, the just Lord, he's in the midst. The Lord is constantly handing down judgment each and every day, recompense and judgment. And also we see it right now that it's constantly being more clear and obvious, that the Lord is causing these things to happen. Every day is some event is happening, one mischief behind mischief, one event behind this event. So we're seeing it's just like a domino effect. So right here, it says here in the NLT, said, but the Lord is still there in the city, and he does no wrong. Day by day he hands down justice, and he does not fail, but the wicked know no shame. So one thing about it, we already knowing about these 2/3, they know no shame. Also the heathen nation, they thinking that, a lot of things, it's happy-go-lucky time, health and mirth. You can walk right out to your door, just like these people took a flight, they went to some type of event, a sporting event. They got on this flight and they were all unalive. It's all of a sudden. That's why it says in Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7, it said, put not off from day to day, make no delay. But suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come upon you, and in thy security you shall perish in the day of vengeance. Just roughly paraphrasing that scripture. But see, we see it right here. The Lord, the just Lord is constantly handing it down. The Lord is what? It's making it good. So let's go here to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah, showing, that the Lord is causing these things to happen. Isaiah chapter 45, Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 7 says, let's go down here a little bit more. Verse 7, it's going straight to the point. He said, I form the light. I create darkness. I make peace. I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So he's telling you right there, the Lord do all these things. That's reading in NLT. So I create the light. I make the darkness. I send good times and bad times. So exactly what the Lord doing. So we in the time, trouble, that we have never seen before. The Lord also, he can bring forth a curse. Also, the Lord can bring forth a blessing. The Lord do all these things, good times and bad times. So we right now, we're in bad time, a perilous time, a time of trouble that we have never seen before. Let's continue. It said, I, the Lord, the Lord am the one who does these things. So that's plain and simple. So the Lord, it's the Almighty, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, he's making these things happening, whether it's from the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Also, the Lord create evil. Also, the Lord create what? Good. So, hey, man, we know that we're here, So the Lord got that perfect balance each and every day. So it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So now, let's get I got a little bit more video to bring out a little bit more about this collision. We'll get this right quick, and then we'll get a couple more precepts, and then we'll close out. And once again, I hope that you will get edified.
Dramatic moment of impact was caught in this video. On the left, circled in red, a U.S. Army Black Hawk with 3 soldiers crashes into American Airlines Flight 5342, seen here in blue carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members. The collision sent both aircrafts plunging into the Potomac River below near Washington, D.C., just before 9 p.m. Wednesday night. This video, obtained by CBS News, shows what air traffic controllers would have seen. The Black Hawk at the top of your screen is on a collision course with the jet before both ultimately end up in the river just off the runway. The regional jet was making its approach to the runway after taking off from Wichita, Kansas. The helicopter was said to be on a training mission and was asked by the control tower if it could see the plane. The pilot said it could right before going silent. 300 emergency crews rushed to the scene by land, air, and sea in a desperate search for survivors in the frigid waters. A law enforcement official tells CBS News the helicopter is upside down, but appears to be mostly intact, while the plane broke in multiple pieces, sitting now in 5 to 8 feet deep water. Police at the scene tell CBS News they're searching through 3 debris fields. Kansas Senator Roger Marshall offered this dire assessment.
We're not seeing ambulances leave. We're not seeing life watches going out, and I'm just not very optimistic. I think it's a tragedy. It's a horrible situation. We can hope beyond hope.
Inside Reagan International Airport, anxious families waited for information on their loved ones who were on the flight. The FAA halted all flights immediately after the collision. And Reagan International Airport will reopen at 11 a.m. the earliest this morning. American Airlines leadership says it is en route and coming. Here they have set up an area to offer support for some of the families, and their leadership released a video statement earlier today expressing their deep sorrows. Another official on the ground, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, it was his first full day on the job.
Despite all those efforts, we are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident. And we have recovered 27 people from the plane and 1 from the helicopter. The district office of the medical examiner has lead on reuniting these bodies and these people with their loved ones, and we will continue to work to find all the bodies and collect them and reunite them with their loved ones.
So we see that the Lord is constantly handing down that judgment left and right. The Lord is no one to be played with. Also a correction on that river. I said the Pontiac, but it was the Potomac. So, that's all through the spirit of power. Yahweh Shema Shai. So now let's go here to, let's get two more and we'll close out. Let's go here to Deuteronomy chapter 32. Deuteronomy chapter 32, straight to the point lesson. So we're seeing right now the Lord is constantly causing these things to happen. And one thing about the Lord said, I come not to bring peace but a sword. So these things are constantly picking up. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right. Either you will hear or either you will forbear. And one thing about it, we know that famine of the word is fast approaching too. So, you got a time limit. And one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to shut the mouthpiece up and make it good. The Lord is getting ready to show up and show out. We're constantly warning you left and right. In that day, they shall know that a prophet was among them. So these people was going on with their daily life. And all of a sudden, tragedy struck. One thing about it, it may, a lot of people look at that and say, oh, this is very bad, and a lot of people think that, oh, the Lord don't do these things. He wouldn't kill you. He don't do that. The Lord loved everyone. Everyone can be saved. Jesus cross. Keep believing that, and you also will be unalive. You're going to join them. And let's read this. Salaki, it's just in the spirit. It says here, Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39, it says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So the Lord already telling you right there, there's no other living power but Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Almighty Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And one thing about the Lord is constantly making it plain to you. Let's read this once again. It says here, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no power with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Let's read in NLT. It said, look now, I myself, I am he. There is no other power but me. The only living power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So I am the one who kills and gives life. I am the one who wounds and heals. No one can be rescued from my powerful hand. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So it's no matter what people say or what they think that coulda, woulda, coulda happened. If the Lord is control of your destiny. There is no free will. We all are doing the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. How can a man know his way? You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, the Lord is directing your path each and every day, whether you believe that or not. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man going is of the what? Of the Lord. How can a man know his way? So we're seeing that we are very close to the judgment. It's constantly coming forth. We know we're coming upon what Jacob's trouble, the MOTB, World War III. These things are coming. This digital society, total dictatorship. A lot of things are happening, and we're constantly warning you left and right. Seek the Lord. Because one thing about it, we're seeing that these people are coming, unalive, left and right. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Ecclesiastes. We'll close out here. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. We'll close out here. A lot of people getting caught up in this evil net and these certain tragedy, these certain events, these calamities and catastrophes. It says here, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12 says, for a man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net. And as the birds that are caught in the snare or a trap, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. So one thing about it, that's what happened. It suddenly falleth upon them, putting out off from day to day. It's time to return to your true power while you still have time. Let's read this here in the NLT, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12 said, people can never predict when hard times might come. Said, like fish in a net or birds in a trap, people are caught by sudden tragedy. So exactly what's happened, sudden tragedy, sudden judgment from who? Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So every day we constantly seeing these things. We're talking about the deportation. We're seeing about this mid-air collision, whether it's by design or manufacture, but we all know it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So like tongue a little dry, but we see that we're very close. These things are constantly picking up. Things are constantly increasing left and right. Like I said, they telling you about these new viruses constantly increasing. A lot of things are happening. Evils are growing all around us. A lot of people still thinking that they are a good case and that things are right upon us. And one thing about it, we already knowing that all of a sudden, a lot of people gonna get caught up in this evil net. It's sudden tragedy, sudden, judgment will come upon you. And the men of the Lord will constantly sighing and crying, left and right, warning you all these things that are coming, warning before destruction. And also we constantly knowing that the Lord is constantly handing down judgment each and every day. It says no respect of person. These things are going to get very, very perilous. Things are going to get very dangerous. We're living in these times. We're constantly warning you left and right. They're not far off. They are here right before your eyes. That's why the Lord said, I will come like a thief in the night. When you're not watching, when you're not praying, when you're going on with your daily life, thinking that everything is all right. Everything will be lovely. And the Lord is going to show up and show out. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is Deadly DC Plane Crash. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.